My president's name is Ulysses S. Grant. He was the 18th President of the United States during the years 1869 to 1877. He is remembered for working to reconstruct the South and the problems of slavery. Some background information is that his parents, Hannah and Jesse Grant, lived in Point Pleasant, Ohio, where Ulysses S. Grant was born and raised. He was born on April 27, 1822. Later in life, he attended the United States Military Academy at West Point. His parents actually sent an application without him knowing, and then when he was accepted, they told Grant. At that time, Grant was shy and his character did not match the kind of character that was necessary for the academy. However, after a while of considering it, he decided to attend the academy. He got married to Julia Dent in 1848, who was the sister of his roommate at the academy. They had 4 children: Ulysses S. Grant Jr., Nellie, Jesse, and Frederick. Some unique facts about Ulysses S. Grant were: his name was not Ulysses S. Grant. His name was actually Hiram. Ulysses was his middle name. However, he goes by Ulysses S. Grant, and it is unknown what the S stands for. Another fact is he didn't like Andrew Johnson when Johnson, a former Democrat, became president after Lincoln's death. The two men eventually became opponents. While Grant was a former Democrat himself, he became aligned with the radical Republicans. Lastly, Grant was the youngest president to be elected at that time. Growing up, Grant had a few hobbies. He was said to have been gifted with horses and an accomplished artist. Because of his love for horses, my prop is a horse toy from Walmart. Before serving as the President of the United States, Grant rose in the ranks of the military until eventually becoming the General of the Union Army in one of the United States' most prominent wars, the Civil War. A comment made by Grant that I found interesting while researching was when he said, "If I thought this war was to abolish slavery, I would resign my commission and offer my sword to the other side." He held no other political positions before his presidency. He was a part of the Republican Party and used the slogan, "God grant us peace," before being voted in for the first time. One of his most famous quotes comes from a time when he was fighting in the Civil War. He said, "In every battle there comes a time when both sides consider themselves beaten. Then he who continues the attack wins." I like this quote because it shows his determination during a very difficult time. He reveals his resilience with this quote. We should model this character when faced with adversity. During his presidency, he had 2 different vice presidents. During his first term, from 1869 to 1873, his vice president was Schuyler Colfax. During his second term, from 1873 to 1877, his vice president was Henry Wilson. His greatest accomplishment was reconstructing the South and working to bring unity during a time of division. The biggest problem during his presidency was the betrayal of his administration. An example of this is when members of Congress were caught up in a bribery scandal. The Union Pacific Railroad had paid a huge bribe to congressmen to get them to give federal money and land to the railroads. However, the people did not blame the Congress members, they blamed Grant. These scandals are what often are brought up when talking about Grant's presidency, even though they were not his fault. Because of these scandals, the people stopped respecting Grant, which made his mission to bring unity a lot harder because no one would listen to him. Another issue, along with the division of the North and South, was the fights with the Native Americans. Native Americans knew that the outcome of the Civil War would affect both the land that was available to them as well as their economic prosperity in the New World dominated by the descendants of the European settlers. This gave them a reason to fight. After his presidency, he became a partner in a financial firm and died of throat cancer shortly after. He died on July 23, 1885. 2 character qualities that I saw when I was researching Grant's life were determination and humility. Determination is defined as ended, concluded, decided, limited, fixed, settled, resolved, directed, having a firm or fixed purpose, as a determined man, or manifesting a firm resolution. Humility is defined as, in ethics, freedom from pride and arrogance, humbleness of mind, a modest estimate of one's worth. He was determined in the Civil War and other wars to lead his men to victory. He also showed humility because even though his administration betrayed him, when he was confronted about it, he took responsibility for their actions even though it wasn't his fault. In conclusion, Americans should respect Ulysses S. Grant because of his character, his ability to lead and take responsibility when things went wrong, and his victories at war.